The theme is empowering customers to leverage their digital footprints. We are excited to present the Theme 2 winner of the Sahamati BuildAAthon, Nominee Ninja by Icebreakers. It is designed to secure your family's financial future with ease. It enables a one-click nominee setup and smart form filling across all financial accounts, both old and new, ensuring a seamless experience. Please join me in welcoming the team behind this solution as they walk us through their journey and demonstrate how Nominee Ninja can transform financial management for customers. And the time for this is between 13 and 15 minutes. Thank you.
So we have 78,200 crore rupees, and that is growing at 26% year on year. However, what we want to do here is to put a stop to it. Now, you may ask us, why would you want to do that? Because this mountain has literally been growing on top of rightful owners of accounts being locked out of their systems, not even knowing that their financial assets is actually probably lying unclaimed with the RBI. And that's exactly where we feel Nominee Ninja can come in and help us, because we want to thaw away this, not just thaw away this entire mountain or this glacier of unclaimed assets, but also make sure that going forward, this problem in another 2 to 3 generations just does not exist for any other Indian to, go through. Because the biggest reason for this is that when we go through all of those onerous financial forms out there, there's often this very small little field over there called nominee details that is probably glanced across just as much as we look into our terms and conditions every time. And this one actually really helps us a lot, especially in the off chance of us not being there for our family members, our near and dear ones, getting access to what was rightfully theirs. Now, how are we looking ahead to go ahead and do this? So this is typically targeted towards people like you and me, because we're digitally savvy, we understand how technology works, we're comfortable with technology, and we trust technology to solve a lot of our problems in our everyday life. So why not something that can also benefit our parents, our children, our spouses, and so on and so forth. And with that in mind, we are Team Nominee Ninja, a group of friends who've just shared a mutual passion for the fintech space, who decided that this is probably a great opportunity for us to solve this huge problem. I'm Kamalika. With me I have Paras and Om. And we set about to solve this by using a clever mix of the Account Aggregator rails and using a lot of our government's APIs and private data as well, with the intention of ensuring that we can build a very personalized and seamless way of just getting and building out your entire family tree, then using the Account Aggregator rails to identify what are all the financial assets and accounts that are lying unclaimed or could potentially go unclaimed simply because you've missed out on that tiny nominee field over there. And how we're planning to do this is, there were a bunch of, so when we started doing this project, we had a bunch of different data points to look at. There were CBSE records that were there. The Tamil Nadu government, for example, is piloting the smart card or the family smart card. We also have marriage certificates, death certificates, birth certificates, and so many other different data forms that we can use to just, at the onboarding stage, and we'll take you through the demo of how we're doing that to see how we can build out your family tree. And we're cognizant of the fact that, all of this data cannot probably represent your entire Indian families are large. So it's not possible that we can represent everything at one go. So we do provide a lot of fallback mechanisms for you to make sure you're adding all of your family members over there. And every time there is a potential, so from the Account Aggregator system, we're pulling in your summary and your profile data. And every time we see the potential of any of your accounts not having a nominee, which is like at least 7 years old, we're going to send you a trigger and let you know that it's high time you take action and safeguard your near and dear ones. This is like a very simplified user flow, and as you can see, there are very few steps in the entire journey. Most of this is happening in the background. Our sign-up is just like one very small, tiny little form, and most of those details we then use the Account Aggregator system to pull out from. So yes, and This was just phase 1. In phase 2, what we aim to do is to make sure that any new financial account that you open up in the future, one, it is as seamless as, liking a post on social media. So we're going to ensure that it's all a one-click widget that's embedded into any financial form across, the breadth of all financial institutions. Use all of the encrypted and hash data that we've gotten from Account Aggregator on your profile section, and fill up everything by after, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's over there. So that also makes sure that for the financial institutions, the operational overheads are a lot lesser. And you know for sure that whatever new assets you are accumulating, those are safe and your India ones. The future scope of what we see, and this is something that we're waiting for the Account Aggregator ecosystem to kind of mature and have like a very seamless account aggregator to account aggregator interoperability that goes just beyond connecting an FIU that's on one AA platform to an FIU on another AA platform, and ensuring that at a metadata level, can we let consumers know that they've given their consents for these sort of use cases, and if those purposes no longer serve them, can we provide a one-click mechanism for them to revoke or reject those consents as well? And while we started out with the objective of solving this for the banking ecosystem, we did realize during the course of our research that a lot of the problems in the EPFO, the pension funds, insurance is a huge area. So we're just waiting for all of those financial institutions to mature and start providing us quality data before we can start solving those problems for them as well. I think with that, we're ready to actually see a demo video, a walkthrough of exactly how this works in real time in the background. So when you land onto the homepage, this is a very simple sort of a dashboard. We've intentionally kept it as clean as possible because we know the cognitive load that it takes on us when we see a huge form or something that has way too many steps to do. Once you sign up on there, we're taking a few very basic details. We're taking your PAN, your Aadhaar number, and your class 10 roll, if you remember your class 10 certificate, then your class 10 number. We're also taking your marriage certificate in case you're married. And if you're blessed with angels, we're also taking their birth certificate number right at the sign up so that we can build your family tree, figure out who you are. Now, this is one of the APIs that we had used to kind of fetch your mother and father's name. This was from the class 10 API data that was available. Then from this, we're also going into the marriage certificate because now we also have your date of birth. So we're feeding that over here to figure out who your spouse is. Add that to your family tree. We're also ensuring, because we know that this is a lot of personal data, we're also planning to do, we've not done it here, but yes, we do plan to have an OTP validation basis your Aadhaar number to really make sure that your data is also safe as well. And once you land onto the dashboard, there are just 4 activities that you can do. You can either, the first step that we would recommend is to go in and check your family tree because we've worked on building this in the background, so it may not be the most accurate. It's based on whatever government data that we have over there. And if you feel that there's something missing, like obviously you cannot have your siblings' data coming in through these APIs, right? Or your grandparents for that matter. So if you want to add that, more than, you can do that as well. Once we've added, say, whatever, your grandparents, your grandmother's name, you can go in and check any of your financial accounts. Now, if you haven't linked any of your assets, as the first step, we would be prompting you to connect to the account aggregator and fetch across all your assets, all of just the profile and the summary data. We're not looking at your transactional data at all. It's just on the basis of profile and transaction alone, where we're fetching all of this data to figure out which are those assets where you do not have a registered nominee. And for all of those, we're giving you a one-click interface where you can choose the nominee from your pre-built family tree, give the percentage allocation across each of those nominees, and when you submit, there are a lot of private APIs which, for example, in the mutual fund space, you have MF Central, which help you to update this. Now, basis, whether it's a bank or MF Central, you may get a link in your email ID that you'll need to verify that this is indeed me who's initiated this nominee addition to my form. Or you'll also get an OTP validation. Once that is done, you're set. Now, the last step of the process is to check whether you have any unclaimed accounts lying around or not. which is where we'll be basis the information that you have, you'll be directed to the Udgam portal, and you can just basis the PAN number, your date of birth, and yes, these were the only two things that were needed. You can check if there are any of your accounts that are lying unclaimed with any of the 30 registered banks on RBI's Udgam portal. And if you do, that is what the final phase of the phase 4 of our project downstream will be, where we will also help you to make sure that you can get those assets back into your name. That's about it from our end, and we would love to hear any questions if you have. Also, can I have my team in the center with me, please? So for end consumers, and this was, I think, a debate that we had for the longest time. I know that Indian consumers are quite used to, having UPI and free of cost stuff. So in the initial phase, for the onboarding, we do not plan to charge customers at all. Paras, do you want to take the, Paras, do you guys want to answer how we plan to monetize downstream?
The first primary way of monetizing will be from the SSO part, where we will be giving a PWA to the other financial institute to get the form details pre-filled. So that will be our primary. Probably down the line, in probably like 1 or 2 phases will be.
Financial institutions here is our research found that for fintechs, there was a 40 to 60% drop when people are filling up forms. And for banks and other regulated financial institutions, it was around 25%, which is a huge drop. You spend so much of money marketing and getting those customers. Just because you've given them that one moment gap in thinking about, oh gosh, do I need to fill this form up? They're second guessing themselves of whether they need that particular service or not. So that's where we feel, if it's just a one-click process, like, I mean, I don't know if all of you have used it, but a couple of us who have applied for jobs, when we see, apply with LinkedIn, we're more tempted to kind of click on that button than fill out their onerous form over there. So that's where we feel if it can become a 5-second, one-click journey, our potential to monetize is a lot better.
Thank you so much. And since you all missed getting the awards in the afternoon, we are going to take the time out to give the award now. I'm calling upon Shalini. Please give them a round of applause, and I love your passion for this. It shows. Thank you.